Hello again. Adrian Small here with my favorite, most professional organizer. Janet Schiesl from Basic Organization is here today to talk to us about, so you have a contract that's been ratified, you have a settlement date, and you need, you're living on the premises, of course, and you need to plan that move and all the work that it implies. So, without further ado, let's dig into this theme with Janet Schiesl. Janet, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good to see you, Adrian.
Good to see you too. So, yeah, I'm already feeling the dread. But anyway, let's go in order. So, I ratified my contract yesterday. My buyer seems to be somebody secure, and we're going to be closing at the end of February, February 28th. That's my deadline. Today is February
Okay.
the 1st. So we can use this month as an example.
Okay.
How would you go about
That
tackling the move?
yeah, that month is going to go really fast because on top of your everyday life, the work, the home, that the taking care of the family and all of that, you have to plan a move. And you nailed it when you said so you're celebrating because you've got a contract on your house, right? Fabulous. And now you're moving into one of they say moving is one of the top 3 stressors that people do in their life. So all of a sudden, like, you've got this huge project on your hands. So you need to start, I would say, by contacting anybody, any services that you need to line up that need to, work with you within that month to get ready for your move, or right at your move time. So, because you're bringing them in, they need to get you on their schedule, that kind of thing. So if you don't have a mover yet, number one, you need to do that. And
Okay.
if you're moving at the end of February, you might be pretty lucky, but most people move in about a 4-month time period in the summer. You know that, how busy that the summers get, and moving companies want your business, but they need to get you on the schedule.
Right. I think 4 weeks is a good time to get in line with,
Mhm.
a moving company. Of course, if you could do it before, but you really can't nail down a date only because you don't have a settlement date yet. So if usually it depends on the area. For example, there are instances where ratified contracts can go into 30 to 45-day settlements. So it gives you extra time.
Yeah.
But in many instances, at least in the DC area, et cetera, it's usually 30 days. So you basically have about 25 days to get everything rolling and out. So I like the way you started with, let's think about outside vendors. So we already got ourselves the moving company. And there I can do a couple of plugs. I am a fan. We have a white glove service at TTR Sotheby's International Realty, where we work with a specific moving company. And then we also have, other suggestions. Most realtors have other suggestions for you. They know them, they trust them, and they like their service. So that would be the first outside vendor. What other outside vendors should we be looking at from the get-go?
So you want to think about maybe what's in your home and things. So I've had instances where clients have wanted their area rugs to be moved and put down. Okay, you want them put down first by the movers before they bring the furniture in, and they'd like them to be clean. So right at the very beginning, call a rug cleaning company, have them come pick up your area rugs if you're interested in that. The last time we did that, I mean, it took like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But then they can be delivered back to your house before the movers get there. They're all rolled and wrapped and ready to go, and they'll arrive clean at your new place. Another one is if you have any really specific, very delicate or expensive artwork or anything like that, you really talk to the movers when they're doing the estimates. Talk to them about how they can help you move that art. And if that is not sufficient for you, there are companies that will move fine art. That's what they specialize in. They know exactly how to pack it, and they put it on their trucks, and they will deliver it to your new home.
You, as an organizer, are those resources that you know?
Yes, yeah.
Perfect,
Those are
perfect.
people that we've worked with, so I can call a specific person at a company and get a little extra attention maybe, and just have a contact that I know I can call, which is
Perfect.
great. And so you mentioned me. Definitely now is the time you want to, if you need help preparing for your move, you should call me because even if you're not downsizing, if you are downsizing, you got a really busy month or 6 weeks ahead of you. But if even if you're not downsizing, if you're moving to the same size house or something larger, even there are always things in everyone's house that they don't need. They're just hanging out because it's easier to just leave it there, right? So you want to really start looking at the small things in the corners and the dark corners of your closets. And so, spend some time looking through your closets, in the storage spaces, so a storage room, a garage, utility room, that type of thing, for just stuff that is obvious that you don't need. But
Okay,
also look at, if you have a floor plan or you've been able to measure your new house. Oftentimes people have, even if they're not downsizing, you have furniture that still doesn't quite fit in the
mhm,
new place. You go to a more open floor plan, and so you can't take bookcases with you, or the china cabinet doesn't fit on the wall between two
right.
door frames, that kind of thing. And so this is when you want to go ahead and find a new home for all of those things too.
Mhm.
You sold the house, so you're ready to go. I would mention too, for the people who may have put things in storage in order to put their house on the market, hopefully you have put things that you know you want to move into that storage.
Great point.
But if you have had a storage unit for some time and you've just been putting things there that just to get them out of your way, now's the time you need to spend some time in that
Mhm.
storage unit, because those items, you need to make decisions on those things as well.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what we should try to consume and not take.
Yes. So also a moving company will tell you, they'll have specifics on things they won't move. So one thing that sometimes really is challenging for people is if you're a plant person, a moving company is not going to put indoor plants into their trucks. So find new homes for them, especially if you're moving out of the area. If you're moving locally, then start planning on that. I'm going to have to be put these in my car to get them to my new location. And if they're really large plants, you really need to figure out, what's going to be done with those, because that they're very difficult to move. The other thing is I encourage people to start eating out of your freezer and out of your pantry. Pantry food certainly can be moved, that's fine. But of course, the stuff in your fridge and your freezer is not going to be packed up and moved. Again, if it's local, you can get a cooler and throw things in there and deliver them yourself. But why do that? Don't go out and shop and buy more just so you have more to move.
Okay,
Um, and then another thing that movers will tell you that they do not
mhm,
move is liquids. So really start looking at the stuff under your kitchen sink, the stuff in your laundry room, the stuff in your bathroom, all of that stuff that is liquid that could probably be packed and moved fine. But
right,
do you want to take the chance that your shampoo bottle breaks and leaks all over the sofa that it's packed in, right next to in the moving van?
right.
And especially if you're moving a long distance and they're going to be in the truck for a few days.
How about liquor?
So yeah, liquor, good one. Have a big party. We can get
Okay,
that contract. Have a big party. Invite
okay,
all your
or
neighbors
or put it in a box and carry it with you if you're
and
local.
carry it with you. That's right. That's right. If you're local and you've got the time, consider, taking trips to the new house with some of these things.
Mhm,
But if you're moving far away, if you've got a one trip to get to your new place, the space in your car is going to become pretty valuable. So start thinking about those things too. So
okay.
really just eliminate as much liquid as you can.
How
For
about important papers? How would you handle those?
important papers. So again, if you're moving local, it might not be too bad. I would say you want the box where the important paperwork is labeled very clearly so that you can find it if an emergency arises. But if you're in a situation where your stuff is going to be on a moving truck for a little while, and before you have a chance to get a handle on it again, you do want to hang on to um, any important medical paperwork. If anybody in your household has any kind of medical issue that might come up during
Right.
your move, but also passports, social security cards, birth certificates, stuff like that. If you have them together, great, because you should always keep them together.
Right.
Grab that packet and pack it with you, take it with you.
Okay. That would be
Um,
something to personally take with you.
Yes, and then we all are different in that some people still receive their bills in the mail, or they get email reminders that they have bills, to pay, investment statements, stuff like that. Or you might have your bills automatically paid. But either way, uh, however you do it, you want to let those institutions know that you're moving, so they have your new legal address. If you have a month or 6 weeks, then it's really good if you either sit down and do it all at once, or know that every time in this next month, every time a bill comes, you need to go onto that website and give them your new address. You need to get
Absolutely.
that
I
done.
think I think something that's key here is, when I introduced what we're going to be talking about, I talked about days between ratification and settlement, but everything that we touched upon also applies to somebody that might move out of the house because they already have their new house, and they
Yes.
might just empty it up to stage it, to have it staged for sale. So I just wanted to clarify that it works the same way if you're already moving into a new home.
Right.
Now, I wanted to ask you, I know we've talked about kids in a couple of previous conversations. What would you have, everybody's at home now, so what would you have kids do in planning for a move?
So give them as much responsibility for their things as you can. So again, I talked about, clean out closets. Try to schedule a family day and get the kids to either help or do their own. Clean out their closet, clean out the dresser drawers, their desk, what's under their bed, that kind of stuff. If you have young kids, spend the day with the toys and eliminate what they don't need anymore. Talk about how much space they're going to have in the new place, or what they want their new room to look like, and then only take the things that will help them create that room that they want.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember I remember you mentioning in one of our conversations how you were hired and coached a toddler how to redesign the room and fix it up, etc. I think
yeah,
the same could apply here. You hire an organizer such as yourself, and they teach the kids, you're going to be walking into a new home with a new bedroom. What would you like to take with you? I
right.
think would be a good way of putting it.
Because oftentimes when you move is, you're decorating a brand new space. So are are your kids' rooms being redecorated? So have them help you reimagine what it's going to look like, and only take what you want. Um, and then again, spaces like in the garage too. So do you have bicycles or sports equipment that they used to use but really nobody's using anymore? Go ahead and
Mhm.
get them to help you make those decisions, because they know if they really don't want them. Kids grow so fast. You might have a lot of stuff that they've just grown out of, and then
Right.
there's just
It's a
not.
good time to separate and donate, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So when is the right time for you to come in and assist?
I would say call me as soon as you can. We usually book out around 2 weeks out. So if I met with you today, it might be 2 weeks before we can start working. I
Okay.
certainly can give you ideas for homework. Again, a lot of what we've talked about today can be done before we go in. But in our initial meeting, during the assessment, we would tour the house and we'd really talk about what needs to be done. And I'd give you, you could get started on what needs to be done. If your household is pretty organized, it will be really helpful in the packing, because packers want to go in there and they're just gonna pack. Moving company packers don't think about, they are local to this area. They
Right,
don't usually think about the new house.
right.
So really identify if you have, if you're going to have an individual home office in your new
Hmm.
home, but you don't have one now. You want to be able to let those packers know, this stuff has to be labeled office.
Okay.
Oh, my two kids that are sharing a room, they're going to be in separate rooms. So you need to divide the items so that the boxes show up in the correct room when
Right.
at the new place, because that will save you a ton of time.
I
We
even
do,
suggest to my clients, because I've done it myself, is I label the door entries of the new home. I
yes,
put that corresponds to the boxes. So when the movers arrive, it's visual. You see, I see bedroom number one, and there's a bedroom number one label, so they
yeah.
know where things go. And I basically take them around and do a tour, so they get familiarized with my little signs. And it saves hauling stuff around like crazy once
Yeah.
you're in, because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, and those boxes are really heavy. So, moving around, no, 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 no. You know what, you don't want to do that if at all possible. We tend to, so we do pack clients. We do it in a very organized manner. And we use labels that have the name, but they're also color coded, which is helpful if, I mean, you don't know who's moving your stuff in, but a lot of people are very visual. And so the color, oh, it's the red room. Oh, it's the blue room. It's the
That's a
yellow room.
great idea.
And yeah, and so you don't, again, it's a sticker that we put on the door.
Mhm.
It's nothing, but it's colored also. So that could be helpful. Those same stickers go on the boxes. So it's really easy for them to identify where things, and you, as you're walking through the house, you can spot boxes that don't belong in the rooms that they might have
Right, and
been
well,
set.
while they're still there, you ask them to move them for you.
Yeah.
One other thing that I like to do, and I want to see if you agree with me, but in addition to, getting the mover and getting the outside vendors program, is also your realtor. If you're selling your home, your listing agent will provide your settlement company a list of the services and utilities that you need to cancel.
Yes.
And that's what people tend to forget. It's
Yeah.
like I'm calling people 48 hours before. Don't forget to change the light bill. Don't forget.
Yep.
And it's also helpful to let them know if they're moving now that they need to do that into their new home. People need to be on top of the gas company, the this, the that. It's not automatic.
Yeah.
So
Think of all the phone calls that you need to do, and it's a lot. It takes a lot of time. So that's where, you need to put aside some time. So that's where services come in, because they can do some of those things for you and you can do the stuff that only you can do.
okay.
So again, another thing you might think about, do you have a maid service clean your house, or do you have a lawn service mow your lawn, or a landscaper that comes, every spring and fall, or anything like that, that services that you have hired and are working in your home. You need to let them know that you're moving. And so give them some kind of notice. If you want a last service from them, set that up, something above and beyond. So your maid service, you might want a final clean out once the movers are gone. Let them know, because that usually takes a little more time. They need to put that in their schedule, and they need to get it on the day after the movers are.
I agree. That's something that sometimes we tend to forget, is especially the cleaning part. Basically homes are delivered broom clean, and that means that the old cans of paint have got to be gone. You can't just leave the sofa there. So it's, if there's stuff that really you, the organizer, and the movers have done, and there's things left behind, if they're really not conveying um, as per your contract, you should just, call 1-800-GOT-JUNK and do a final cleanup, and then just bring your maid service in the way you would expect somebody to deliver your new home to you. Have the cabinets cleaned out, the kitchen appliances, the closets, etc. All these things in the home And let's just say that you're moving and you're having your home stage. You should do that anyway. You know, prep your home for sale should also imply I took everything out of the house and I left it in pristine condition. So I would definitely plan for cleaning the home, not only when you're moving, but when you're settling. Because if you stage the home, you're already moving into a new place. A couple of days before settlement, it would be nice for somebody to walk into a home that maybe other people have viewed, et cetera, et cetera. Clean it up, dust it, the staging is gone, you know, do an in-depth cleaning and plan for that.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, what, leave with a good feeling. That's,
Exactly.
and that's the last thing where, so we've talked a lot about, set up, plan and set up for services to help you through this huge project. One thing that I really, it's easy to get overwhelmed and then you're rushing to get out and everything. Um, I love when people can, before they leave, they create some last memories. So if you have young kids, get in touch with their friends, spend time with them, do some things that the family, has enjoyed in the area, so that you talk about, like, this is the last time you're going to be here, and
That's a great idea.
yeah, gather with your neighbors that you've been close with, people you've worked with, whatever, do a last hurrah, and
Right.
celebrate that, the life you lived in this home, and then so you can happily, move on to the next place, I think.
This is a fabulous way to end this conversation. So I want everybody to know that I feel the best way to help you with this process is hire somebody like Janet, former National Association Professional Organizer President. So she definitely is top notch to make the process fluid. And the key here is there are a number of services that you provide that are not necessarily full blown, I'll walk in, I'll pack, I'll do. You have different options for
Okay.
the clients based on their needs. Can you talk just a little bit about that so we can finish with that?
Yeah, every client is different. So every move is different. So what you need, we've probably seen before,
Mhm.
but if not, I have, a whole Rolodex full of people who I can count on to say, I'm looking for something specific. Do you know anybody? It's much better to work with somebody who knows you, than to just pick a name off a website somewhere.
Right.
And so we can go in and do as much or as little as you would like,
Okay.
short of the moving van. And again, we just refer you to different moving companies, and then let you choose, who you think you can work with the best. But hands-on, we can do just about anything else.
Okay.
So we do pack, for the folks moving into the Washington, D.C. area. We can unpack. Packing, there's a deadline to that. You have to be out at a certain time. Unpacking, a lot of times people think, well, that's okay, I will have landed in my new place, I can unpack in due time, I'll get it done. But sometimes you really do have to realize that you might move in on a Saturday and start a brand new job on Monday morning, or be putting your kids into brand new schools, and they have no friends. They're going to be
Right.
making all new friends. And then you're also looking for a new cleaning company or a new lawn service, or you need a painter, or you're working with a designer, or you need window coverings on your, whatever it
Right.
is. So you have all of those projects in your brand new home. So again, unpacking might be
All
something,
right.
a
Mhm.
service that you could take advantage of to just get that off your plate.
Yeah. Plus, at the end of the day, we say, oh, unpacking is easy. And by day 5, you're tired of falling over the boxes.
Yeah.
So I always feel hire
People
somebody
are
to help
and
you.
people are usually very surprised when, so if we are going to do the packing for you, I go in and do an estimate for the packing materials, and people are usually really surprised when I tell them, it's going to be 175 boxes. Like, my house isn't that big. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be 170, it's going to be at least 175 boxes. And, yeah, packing is something, especially the larger your house, the more you don't want to do it. You want to leave it to somebody else. It
Okay.
takes a lot of time.
Right. Okay, Janet, this was wonderful as usual. I so appreciate your time. I hope this becomes useful for our audience.
Yes.
And we will continue on this series. So subscribe. I'll have notations with Janet's information at the bottom for you so you can find her. And we will continue on this series at a later date. So good to see you, Janet, and talk to you soon.
Thank you.